It's not every day we get a visit from Jonny Adam at Knockhill, but today Johnny's up here doing a corporate day with his sponsors. So he's come and joined us in the office, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about all things Johnny, sports car, world endurance, you name it. We're going to go right back to the very beginning as well. And in the beginning, you used to be an instructor for us up here. You instructed maybe 5-6 times a week for us, doing rally, doing race schools. Do you miss it, is the first question, and what memories have you got from it?
Yeah, it was great times. I started here 2003. Was here for sort of 10 years, I think, as an instructor part-time. But really, in the summer, it was great to be here because it was really busy, getting 5-6 days a week. Met some really close and good friends who are still good friends to this day. And just really loved, instructing on track, working with public, doing corporate events. It was really good fun. And I think all drivers, they've sort of, on their way up, they've had a background of doing coaching and instructing. And to this day, I still think doing the instruction side really does help professionals, along the way. So it's definitely helped my career, but it's just a nice place to still come up and see friends that are still here and doing a good job here.
There is a funny story of when you used to do rally demos for your future father-in-law, who had a really nice Focus at the time. And I'll let you give us the background on that story.
Okay, so midweek, busy school. My job was doing demo runs with the Ford Focus that Graham owned at the time. I remember it was the last customer day, big South African guy over on holiday, and paid his £20 to have a blast up and down the stage. And I remember I made a small error, and I caught a little pothole just as the car was getting out of shape. And unfortunately, I would call it a half roll. A full roll is when it goes up and over. It landed up on its door, it stayed on its door, and I remember the wing mirror actually stopped it from going fully over on the roof. And I got pushed down on all four, obviously got towed back up to the paddock here. To obviously Graham's disgust that obviously I tried to kill his rally car. And still to this day I actually still owe him a wing mirror. So yeah, and now he's going to be my future father-in-law. So yeah, he still brings that out quite often. Every couple of weeks he still digs me in the ribs to say what happened about that, and a few other stories as well over the years as well with other cars.
Now, you were a pretty successful karter in your early career as well, but you went from karting, you made the transition onto the big circuit, and you started racing Formula 4 Z-Tech here, and that was some pretty good happy memories in the Formula 4 Z-Tech class. But then you branched out from the Z-Tech class, you went away and started racing up in the country, and started building your career from there.
Yeah, I started in Z-Techs, come off the back of go-karting for quite a few years, mostly in Scotland, done a bit of British Championship stuff, but got into car racing in 2003. We bought a Formula 4 Z-Tech from Louis de Rista, and we obviously done a full season up here with the SMRC. Really good fun, learnt a lot, but I do remember an occasion, obviously racing against yourself, and on a weekend that obviously Duncan was on fire, absolutely the class of the field. I think it was first or second race, pulled out a massive gap. I mean, he was disappearing in the distance. Final lap board, obviously conceded to finish in second to Duncan. And as I sort of entered the hairpin, within the inside of the hairpin, somewhere in a bog, from head to toe in mud, arrived this white helmet that popped up, which was Duncan. And I think you tried to dump the clutch and sort of do a nice drifting wave. How did that end up?
Yeah, well, I was celebrating before I got to the flag, and the Miguel ran out of luck, and it was on his dodgy steering rack, and so as I kind of waved off and spun to the inside, I gifted you a win. I wanted you to win, though. You needed a win, for your championship.
And remember the walk of shame, wasn't it? You walked all the way up to the pit lane. It was good times. I have to say, racing at SMRC level for me was a massive thing, in terms of it taught me a good racecraft, because go-karting teaches you so much, but car racing at this level, there's a lot less pressure, and it taught me a lot to then move on to ultimately to single-seaters, which was Formula Renault for a few races after that, and then a massive U-turn to go into tin tops, which was actually Gordon's advice at the time. Gordon Shannon gave me some great advice to, take suit and go into sort of Renault Clio. So done that, and went that direction after that.
And you've never looked back since then, and only recently you've become the most winningest driver in British GTs with, I think it's 14, and taking that title from Tim Mullen. If everything goes well next weekend, I believe, if you finish inside the top 6, yourself and Flick Hay can be the champions of the British GT Championship again, and that will be your 3rd championship? 4th, maybe?
Yeah, 3rd championship, yeah. So, this year's quite a big year for Aston Martin on customer side. our ultimate goal this year with the new car for WEC was to obviously prove how good a package the new car is. And that's obviously an ongoing development. But definitely for the final year of our GT3 car, which finishes in a few months, the goal was to try and win British GT. And I've always wanted to have a challenge. So again, to have a new team, completely new teammate this year, the goal was to realistically put something together to go for another championship. And Flick's driven so well. For her, I think it will be a great thing if we can obviously get a good result next weekend, because, you know, for her, a female in the UK motorsport scene, as high as what British GT is, to win it overall is a big story and a big headline for not only the team or her herself, but also, you know, Aston Martin Racing, because we like new customers. She is very much a new customer this year. But yeah, we still have to get the job done next weekend. But it's been a really, again, enjoyable year with British GT, racing against former customers, and Andrew Howard, who's back to the championship, Derek Johnson as well, who had a championship with. So it's really been good fun, but it would be nice to sign off the current Vantage, which is raced for 7 years in the UK, to sign it off in our championship.
Nice of you to name your two other championship teammates here, Derek Johnson and obviously before him, Andrew Howard. 2017 Le Mans, you were the GTE Pro Champion. You know, I mean, that was one of these races which I was there. I will never forget the last lap. I don't think anybody will ever forget that last lap. And we've never actually really sat down and spoke about this. You know, we caught up with it on the Monday after Le Mans, and we both looked a little bit like this, from what I seem to remember here. Talk us through the emotions of that last lap, and also the course of the race, but specifically, Johnny, the last lap.
It was a good week leading up to Le Mans. We realised we had a good car all week. We qualified on pole. Darren Turner made a mega effort to stick us on pole. So we were in a good position to fight. And the BOP and the way the car performed all race gave us a good shot of it. But realistically, when the driver rota came out and I knew I was in the final stint, it was only until the last sort of maybe 3 hours before the race finished that I thought, you know what, we may have a chance to get not a win, more realistically a podium. So that was the words that I got from the engineer and the team management was, no craziness, just bring the car home. If it's a podium, we take it, we take WEC points, and off we go. But the coolest memory I had was as I left the pit lane with 46.5 minutes to go off memory, trundling down the pit lane, Corvette in front. The engineer came over, who's a good friend of mine, came over the radios to say the Corvette in front is for Le Mans. And then it was game on, you know, for the last bit of the race. But it was a great fight with the Corvette and Jordan Taylor. And it could have gone either way. It fell our way, but I do remember getting by up the start-finish straight, and the crowd cheer, which something you feel when you're at a home circuit like Knockhill if you're doing touring cars, and you feel it at Le Mans because there's 80,000+ people there. And a lot are Aston fans. You do feel that, but I actually heard the crowd cheer within the car, you know, which was a feeling I may never get at all. But as a driver, I think we always get to a point in our career where we want that special race. And for sure, that was my special race, really. But we waited, you know, a good 8 years to win that race in the pro category. It came to a really nice time that, you know, last year was the final year of the Vantage in the GT pro category. Nice to tick the box. And I have to say, it's probably still being talked about within Aston. You know, for the last sort of 12 months, we're still talking about Aston and you know, the heritage of what the team have done, what the manufacturer's done, and definitely that race has gone down well with everyone within Aston.
Yeah, the commentary box that I was in with... we were high-fiving. I had Alan McNish, I had Peter Dumbreck, Toby Moody, Julian Porter. You know, the place was absolutely bouncing. The tonics were falling off the table. It was that good, but it was a very proud moment to watch somebody who I've worked with, who I've kind of grown up with here, to actually go and win Le Mans. It was almost a bit surreal because it was my first Le Mans as well. And yeah, what happened in 2018? I'm only joking. 2018, completely different year when you went back this year, though. Yeah,
different car, different BOP. Yeah, quite a different race for us. But the big thing for this year is reliability. You know, we've got a brand new package. There's one component carried over, and it's a tiny plastic steering box cover that goes onto the new car. So a completely new concept from Aston Martin Racing. And the goal this year was just to try and get some running and good reliability under our belts, which we have done over the first 3 races of the year. I think now you'll see, hopefully, now the championship understand where the car's performance is and the balance of our car. Hopefully we'll fall into a good performance window that on the flyaways for the rest of the week we'll get a chance to be on the podium. But yeah, different. Le Mans is always special. I've done it. I've only done it 3 times, and very fortunate to win it. You know, that occasion in 2017. But it's such a nice atmosphere. Everyone that's there is proper motor racing fans or petrol heads. That may be their one race of the year that they go and watch. And it was epic. You know, to stand on that top step of the podium, really nice to share the car with Darren Turner as well that year, because, you know, Darren's a good, very close friend, and he's been really good on and off track for me. And to win it with him the way we won it, and to see what it meant to everyone within the team. You know, we take over 100 people to Le Mans, you know, to run 2 or 3 cars, and it meant as much to everyone in the team as it much to me. So it was pretty cool. And to you, you were there as well, and it was pretty cool to obviously race with you prior, but obviously to see you in the pit lane doing your love and doing a mega job on the commentary.
Well, thank you very much. And the future, you know, you're still a young man, but what does Jonny see his future being? You know, is it something you want to stay in Aston, or, you know, what do you see maybe 10, 15 years away down the line?
The ultimate goal is to try and obviously forge a long-term career. I kind of hit GT racing at the right time. You know, I look after a few young drivers, and it is more difficult now to break into a manufacturer role. But the ultimate goal is to try and obviously forge a career that can go on for another 10, 11 years. And GT racing is that. It's booming at the moment. Not only, you know, I'm fortunate enough to race in a world championship, I do customer racing in the UK and Europe. And at the moment, we're building really good race cars. We've got a lot of new race cars next year for customers to race and all over across the world. And I think hopefully that will make the racing better for us, and obviously an attraction to any new customer that's coming to race in Aston. So it's good times just now. Anything can happen, as we all know in motorsport, but just riding across the wave that I'm really enjoying my racing at the moment, and seem to be obviously getting some good results with it.
Yeah, enjoy it, buddy. You've worked hard for it, I do know that. And well, Jonny enjoys his racing and he enjoys driving an Aston Martin, but we want to offer you the chance to drive one as well, because, Jonny, you were out in the Aston Martin at Knockhill not long ago. You actually, a little side note, you had to do a day's instructing for Graham not long ago, did you not?
Yeah, I turned up on a weekend off, and he was short on an instructor. He said, "Have you got your Knockhill gear?" I was like, "No." He said, "Well, there it is, on you go." So yeah, it was cool. Nice to get back out. And it's like putting an old pair of shoes on. You know what to say, and you get back out on track, and you enjoy the day with the customers. Yeah.
So if you want to drive an Aston Martin, it's very easy to do. Jonny here is going to sign some of these vouchers, and we're going to give see what we've done there, 24% off Aston Martin. So you can see that there, camera 1, camera 2, and Jonny's going to sign a lot of these, so we'll get the nice big signature. So if you fancy an Aston Martin experience at Knockhill, driving the lovely V8 that we have here, you can do that. 24 hours, 24% off the Jonny Adam. I'm going to call it the Jonny Adam experience, just for this one time only, but it's the Aston Martin experience at Knockhill, and we'll get you to sign that. And, you know, what do people get when they come to drive that car? You know, what does it feel like driving that V8 Vantage?
I think it's a beautiful, iconic car. You know, for a lot of people, the aspiration to drive, you know, a brand that's associated with James Bond, a very British brand, is quite a nice thing. So it's the ideal place to do it. You know, it's the ultimate, you know, place to come and really test the Aston and see what the Vantage chassis is like round the tight, twisty layout of Knockhill. So yeah, it's a great experience, and people really do get the benefit of working with great instructors here, and really obviously get the most out of the car by the end of their experience. So yeah, I'm sure everyone will love it. Right,
this is number 1, so I'll get you to draw a little signature across that, and some lucky person could be getting this. I'll maybe take this one home myself, actually, you never know. But Jonny, it's been wonderful having you here. We don't catch up enough because you're a global GT driver now. But the best of luck for the rest of the WEC campaign, and hopefully we can catch up at the end of the year.
Mega. Thank you very much. Cheers.